What is up, y'all? Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Want to go over a quick setup today that I took on GBP USD that I ended up making $750 on my funded account, 100K funded account. And I'll get into the charts and show you exactly which trade I took. But just to show you guys proof right here. Hopefully you can see that and it's not too blurry, but two 5-lot entries. I entered 10 lots, but I twin trade usually, so I entered two 5-lot entries. The stop loss, was super short, so it was only a 4-pip stop loss. So I was comfortable risking, 10 lots because that's still less than 0.5% if it were to hit stop loss. So let's go ahead and get into the charts. But let me know if you guys are having a good trading week this week. It's NFP week, so I'm hoping to be done, by Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going to post this video tonight, which is Monday, or tomorrow, which is Tuesday, but I'm hoping to be done and just be done by trading after Wednesday, or after Tuesday, excuse me. With all the news coming out, NFP week, there's sometimes weird movements, fake outs, things like that. But I would love to hear if you guys caught any trades this week so far. Appreciate it. Let's get into the chart. All right, y'all, we are on the charts, and I already have everything laid out because I just kept it on my screen from this morning. So, as you can see, GBP USD 5-minute time frame, we're in a pretty decent downtrend here, trading below the 200 moving average and the 50 moving average. And that's something I look at whether I'm trading a bearish trend or a bullish trend, trading above or below the 50 moving average, the 200 moving average. Obviously, we're trading below pretty consistently here. What I look for is this was actually an equal high. It did not break and make a higher high. This is a lower low, equal high, and then it broke this structure. BOS, break of structure, is how I label my charts. And I labeled another low over here that we ended up breaking. But when I noticed we broke this level and wicked all the way down here, I saw that we created this supply zone right here. And again, below the moving averages, which I love. And then I was waiting to see what would happen whenever price got here. And I was watching it from this whole wick up here. I saw this bullish candle, and it ended up rejecting immediately before it even got to the supply zone. So at first I thought this wasn't even going to be a trade, and I was just looking at some other pairs. And then I came back to it, noticed it was slowly crawling back up. It wicked in once, instantly rejected. A bullish candle, wicked in again, instantly rejected. Now, after this candle rejected and closed underneath the zone, it did not close in the zone, I was even more confident that this was going to play out. So when this candle happened, it went bullish at first, immediately wicked, rejected again, and as soon as it broke this bullish candle here, hopefully you guys are understanding which ones I'm talking about. As soon as this bearish candle broke this bullish candle here to the downside, break of candle, BOC, a break of candle entry, that's exactly where I entered. So actually, when price was pulling up right here on this bearish candle, when it moved up first, before it moved back down, I set sell stops right here. So as soon as they broke this candle, they triggered my entries, and I had those two 5-lot entries running. It moved down, it came back up, and I had my stop loss right above these wicks. So it got, within about 1.5 pips of my stop loss, but I was still confident in it. I was either, I was fine with taking the L, or I was going to let it play out and take the win. And I ended up, taking the win. So do not freak out if you're trading and you enter, starts going in profit, it goes and it's heading toward your stop loss. For me, what's worked best is just to let stop loss or let TP hit. And that's what I did here. If you freak out, it's like, you know what, I don't want to take as big of a loss. I'm just going to take out here, and then it would have tanked, and then you would have missed a trade, and then your psychology is all off. I'm sure it's happened to a few of you guys, but just wanted to mention that part there because I think it's important. But again, this was super short stop loss. So my TP1 was a small TP. Usually my TPs are like 10 pips. But this one, since I was doing 10 lots, I was keeping the TP1, TP2, TP3 as equally compared to whatever my stop loss was. So TP1 was about 4 pips, TP2 8 pips, TP3 about 12 pips, and then, you know, of course it ended up continuing downward. But I was actually watching this huge bearish candle here, and it hit TP2, and I took out one entry. I took out my first entry immediately. Then it came back up, and then it started moving back down. I moved my stop loss right here below that bullish candle. Why am I not able to? Here, I moved it about right here below this bullish candle. As soon as this bearish candle came in and started moving down, I moved it below this bearish candle. I just kept moving my stop loss a little bit more in profit. So I had secured one position, and my next position was already in profit. So there's no way I was going to lose any money on this trade. There was my entry. But as soon as it kept going down, about halfway through here, I took out, between TP2 and TP3, I ended up taking out my second position. You know, it all depends how confident you are in the trend. Price had already been moving down so much that I didn't know how far it was going to move down. I didn't honestly think it was going to move quite this far down. So I was fine taking the win. I was fine taking it out. You don't have to hold all of them for a 1 to 10 risk to reward. That's how you're going to end up taking a lot of losses or a lot of break-evens, in my experience. So actually, after this, price ended up coming right back up, as you can see, and then it went up the rest of the day, and it ended up like way up here. So if I would have just held thinking, you know, this is just going to tank the rest of the day, I would have hit my break-even or my little stop and profit, whatever it would have been. So I ended up taking a very nice W on that. Let's move back to right here. If you guys don't know, this is the FX replay mode. On TradingView, you have to have the paid version of TradingView to be able to get replay mode, which is kind of annoying, but you know, it's like $12 a month or something like that, I think. So it's really not too bad. To me, it's worth it because that way you can also review your trades, you can back test, all that good stuff. But especially for this, for making videos, it's very helpful. But that is how simple that this strategy that I use is. And I didn't label this, but this obviously is a supply zone. This bearish candle that engulfed this bullish candle made a supply after the break of structure, and it did have a gap as well. The gap, which I had labeled, but now I don't anymore, obviously, was from the bottom of this bearish candle to the top of this wick. That's the fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. That's what ICT traders call it, but I just say gap. And it came in, filled the gap, went into the zone, immediately rejected, boom, entered the trade. And I was also had in my mind that, you know what, this big wick up could have been it grabbing liquidity, and then it could have moved up the rest of the day. So I also had that in my head that, you know what, this could have been a liquidity grab, and I could be catching the reversal. It could be moving back up. But once I saw these rejections, that's what gave me the confidence to enter this trade and have these sell limits, sell stops right here. So super simple trade. It might seem confusing, but if you trade supply and demand for any amount of time, you just know that there's a certain, you know, a little checklist that you can look for. A good clean break of structure, which was right here. Obviously a supplier demand zone. You come into the zone. It doesn't have to reject from the zone, but to me, those are the ones that play out the most and have higher probability. So you can look for break of structure, rejections of the zone, a gap, fair value gap, whatever you want to call it, which this had. I just didn't have it specifically labeled on this because it was going to interfere with the TPs and everything. And then going with the trend. That's like a simple 3 or 4 things that I would look for that I do look for whenever I trade. So really simple trade, easy read. Very happy that it played out. Again, ended up making $750 on my 100K funded account. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, if you got anything valuable out of it. And then if you did make it to this far in the video, the end of it, and I would love you to comment. What should you comment? Comment supply in the comment section below if you made it to this part of the video. I just want to see how many of you guys are actually making it all the way through the video. So if you did make it this far, I really appreciate you. Subscribe, give it a thumbs up, comment supply down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.